when I'm not exploring alternative ideas to grow my YouTube channel? I like to answer questions that I get on YouTube, so let's get to it. I knew this day would eventually come. This is from channel contributor and longtime John Mayer apologist Cody Cook, which the big news this week is that PRS, in collaboration with their endorsee John Mayer, have released a new PRS guitar that is really just a Strat with a PRS headstock. And a lot of people have dynamic feelings about this, and I'm one of those people because, again, Mayer PRS can do whatever they want. You know, I have respect for Mayer as a player. I have respect for PRS as a company. To this day, Custom 24 is the best guitar I've ever personally played, but this is just wrong. Like, it's just flat out wrong, and I think it's stupid, and it's a little childish even that, like, he signs with PRS and just has them build him a Strat. Like, I guess I would be really interested to know the details of the John Mayer Fender falling out, however that worked out, but I almost kind of think it's just a little shady for PRS to just build a Strat copy when, like, PRS, as far as I know, was killing it, like, doing their own thing. And I think it does kind of tarnish and diminish the brand just by doing such a blatant rip-off job, even though I'm sure it's a fantastic guitar and it might even be better than the Fender Strats. But it looks wrong, it is wrong, and those are my thoughts. If you're going to presume to teach somebody this song, you might go to the trouble of learning the chords yourself. The chords you give to the second part are completely wrong, and where the F did you get that D chord? It not only sounds wrong, it is, but it sounds terrible. Even if you play a D7 with an F sharp bass, you're getting closer. It should be an F sharp half diminished. Try playing an A minor chord with an F sharp bass. So think about these Salty Blues commenters, and most specifically, the ones who tune in on how to play a certain song or a certain technique, and then whoever made the video, they end up teaching them the real way to play it. Why are you even, like, watching a tutorial on how to play a song that you already know how to play? Doesn't make a lot of sense. Seems like a waste of time. Also, in context, the D that sounded terrible sounded like this. It goes F, G, D. Oh, so bad. Fantastic stuff, Sean. My first listen, I wasn't sure I liked the sound of the vocals, but listening to it a few more times, it sounded really good. Question for you, just out of curiosity. How much time does a project like this take? I know that may be subjective based on the composition and different ideas and changes you may go through in the process, which is never the same song to song, but just as a ballpark kind of figure, how much time do you put into a track like this? I'm looking for the actual tracking / mixing of the song, not the writing process, unless they are inseparably linked in this case. Does that question even make sense? So this is in response to the newest music video that I uploaded last weekend. And by the way, thank you for all the feedback and support I've been getting for that stuff. It's awesome. I'm really putting this on the front burner. I'm rocking it out. I'm trying to do one a week because it's been too long and the world needs more rock. And I'm putting that burden on my shoulders. I'm super stoked for this weekend's song because I think it sounds really good. I think it's probably actually my best one. So I would love it if you guys could check that out, probably Saturday. And let me know your thoughts. That'd be fantastic. But as far as like how long it takes to track and mix a song, I mean, he was right on. It's different for every single song. And for me specifically, since I do everything by myself, I think it might take a little bit longer than usual. But I kind of have a process down, which you may see a little bit of in the accompanying vlogs that I put out. But I do think that if I have a full day and the song is written, then I can kind of get it done. So we're looking at maybe like 8 to 12 hours, I would say, for just like the tracking and mixing for most songs. And again, some of them are more acoustic. Adding drums and getting drums tracked right for me and to sound right, I think is probably one of the biggest hassles. And then just mixing stuff in general is not my strong suit, but I'm getting better at it, so it might take me a little bit longer than some people. But I would ballpark it at 8 to 12 hours per track. But that doesn't include the writing, and like you said, a lot of times they're inseparable, because for the most part, I will write on either piano or guitar, and I'll have like kind of the bones of it. And then the tracking of it, I'm always kind of adding the other parts. Like it's kind of rare that I would have like a bass line written for something before I start tracking. So a lot of times I'm actually jamming / tracking in the same vein, which is why I almost never finish a song in one day. It's kind of like spread out over a couple days where maybe I'm thinking about it. But yeah, the writing is definitely part of the process, and especially maybe the things that aren't primary components of the song. And also in my experience, some of the best parts of the song come out in kind of like the secondary writing phase, which is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. So, you know, again, it's different every song. Some songs take years to finish, which that's more of like a writing component. And I really cannot overemphasize the difficulty of having to do everything by yourself. Like, sometimes it seems like I have it down what I'm doing, but it is like emotionally and physically exhausting doing it all. But again, it's for the good of rock, and I feel I owe so much to the genre, even if what I'm doing isn't even rock. I'm just gonna keep calling it that it's worth it. So again, I appreciate everybody checking out the original stuff. I'm gonna have more coming soon. I'm proud of it, and thanks so much. What the F did I just watch? This guy is the biggest tool. Sorry, anyone who watches this and uses this as a means to make yourself seem more sophisticated is the biggest tool. I mean, Jesus Christ, you lying effers. Learn the piano or stop lying your way through life. Go play in traffic. I always thought that go play in traffic was like the lamest insult you could ever give to anyone. Go play in traffic. It's just, I don't know. Salty, elite, piano comment players. I don't even know what I'm calling this segment at this point. I'm so frazzled. How do you choose interesting rhythms for different parts in songs? I got a song I'm working on, but I hate the rhythm of the verse, love the chords, but not sure how I can change it to be more interesting. I think we all kind of get stuck in different rhythms sometimes, and usually the best thing that helps me is to really just create a lot of space. So say you're doing something like really simple, like just C to G, and maybe you get stuck in the down, 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 up pattern of down, down, down. That it seems to be, what is it about the down, 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 up pattern? I don't know. A lot of people get stuck in that. I myself was guilty of that one time. Again, creating a lot of space. However, if it's 4 counts, best thing to do is just track yourself doing that, whether it's a looper pedal, whether it's a voice memo, whatever, and then just really kind of try to keep your ear out for the vibe or the groove of the song, even if you can just kind of like just tap out on your legs with your hands what you're kind of feeling. Add a lot of space, especially if it's a verse. If it's a chorus, you kind of want there to be more energy. You want there to be a little bit more action going on the strumming. Never be afraid to add space and then add mutes to maybe what you had. So even if it is like a down, 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 up thing, you can always change it by just hitting the downbeat. And that's something that's a little bit different, even though it's the same thing. So I'm a big fan of creating a lot of space, keeping that space. If it works, if it doesn't work, start adding mutes, but be able to listen back to it and really try to find the groove of the song. And when I say the groove, it's just kind of like whatever components you have in the song, whether it's just chords and like a vocal or different instruments, try to feel how they're interacting with each other, and then just try to supplement that, because that's essentially what a good drummer who's playing along to something and not creating the groove himself is going to do anyways. So just experiment with that. Again, that's why you need a looper pedal, or at the very least some means to record yourself. Most people can do that on your phone. So get to it and groove away. Okay, here's my small old fat fingers question. If I physically can't put my fingers on the notes required to play a chord, what kind of practice or exercises can I do to get there? Part 2, if my fingertips are fat enough that fretting the G string makes me touch the B string, how do I learn to make them smaller? Not being facetious, this stuff has killed advanced chords and taken a lot of the fun out of playing 6-string for the past 15 years. If I could jam on my Seagull the way I do on my Blue Ridge tenor, I might even become a happy person. So part 1 of the question is really just essentially, to paraphrase, how you stretch your fingers out to kind of get to some of those like more difficult chords. I think the best way to do that as far as an exercise goes really just comes down to maybe starting at wherever is more comfortable on the neck. Start on the 5th fret, and then just 1 finger per fret. And then just do it on every single string until you can do it without picking up your previous finger. Okay? So like if I start on the 5th fret of the E string, the next one's going to be my middle finger. And then try to keep the previous finger down. If you can't do that, just reach. Okay? And eventually, the more you do that, the less you'll have to start reaching, and the more that your fingers will just kind of naturally spread out a little bit. It's going to be most difficult at the 1st fret because frets are the widest. And again, don't be afraid to reach, okay? Even if you can't do it while keeping all your fingers down, that's fine. You're going to get better at it. And then once you have that down, just make bigger steps. So do a whole step each time. So like 1, 3, 5, 7. And again, very few people can do that without moving, but just the act of kind of reaching for a target is gonna naturally have your hand kind of space out and do a lot of that stuff. As far as making your fingers smaller, I mean, the thing is, like if you see some of those enormous Hawaiian or Samoan dudes play ukulele, you think that like, okay, nobody's hands or fingers are too fat to play certain chords. It's all about where you actually put the pressure. So even if, you know, say your middle finger is hitting the G string, but it's spilling out and maybe touching the D and the B string, it's really where you choose to power through and pressure into it. And then you can kind of add different fingers to the string below or beneath or above that. So it's really being thoughtful on not only just getting your finger to a location, but then concentrating the pressure of where the minute pressure points of that are. So I think this is something that if you're more thoughtful about, it'll come. But I get it, you know, some of these chord voicings and stuff are hard and kind of a tight squeeze. But trust me, anybody can do it. You'll get there. Just keep working on it. The oh moments. So many things we realize when we play thoughtfully. I'm a unicorn of guitar. I don't know theory. Killer. Super entertaining Mythbusters. Does the sub ever leave you? Oh, good folks. So yeah, subs leave. I think I lose like 100 a month or something like that. Now, only one time has a subscriber ever told me why he or she was leaving. And it was on, I think it was like a how to fake the blues video. He's like, listen, I really like your videos, but you had to get political and I don't stand for my YouTubers being political or something. And I'm like, political? And I went back and I watched the thing because I'm like, I'm never political about really anything. And the political nature of the video was me saying that moon landings were faked, like the blues. And I guess he really took umbrage at the fake moon landings thing, and he's out of here. For listening homework, I'm going to link you to some Wolf Alice. Now, a lot of people really dig Wolf Alice. It took me a while to come around. I wasn't totally in to a lot of the early stuff, but then I heard this live version of Planet Hunter off their newest album, and I think it's absolutely rocking. Now, it almost is kind of a departure from their actual sound, and I wish more of it sounded like this. Again, just my own personal opinion. So check it out. Let me know what you think. And if you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comment section, Instagram, Twitter, the website. I'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot.